Like any other junior in high school, I've been doing a lot of thinking about college. And it feels like all of a sudden, everyone's had everything figured out and known where they wanted to go for years. And the class of 2026 early decisions recently coming out have done wonders for my anxiety. So naturally, in starting this college process, came the question, where do you want to go? And these 6 words have sent me down countless spirals, and hours later, I only seem to emerge more confused. So, in order to make this more bearable, I broke this process down into steps. First, I need to figure out what I want, and then I need to figure out a college that aligns with it. Now, that first part is a lot more easier said than done, and honestly, I have no idea what I want. My mom was a big sorority girl in college. She was a Pi Phi, and she only ever refers to it as the time of her life. Getting our dog, Fred, is probably a close second, and I maybe come in third on a good day. And I have 3 siblings, but she's always wanted me specifically to follow in these footsteps and share this experience with her. My mother has set many expectations for me, and I've never had any trouble either meeting them or looking her in the eye and telling her they're stupid. But this one is really complicated. But the idea of coming home for winter break just to match my angel necklace with my mom's has meant the world to me for the last 17 years. This expectation became something she held for me into something that I held for myself. For so long, this was what I wanted. I want nothing more in this life but to make my mom proud. And I know that I will, sorority or not, but it was hard when I found some pretty perfect colleges just to see that their Greek life experience was irrelevant or non-existent. For context, I have 2 sisters, and they're great, but me and my mom have always had a very special bond. Think Marie and Duchess from the Aristocats. I take after her the most, and sometimes I look at her only to see big parts of myself reflected back at me. Personality-wise, but weirdly enough physically. If you notice when I smile, which I don't think I do much smiling in these videos, sorry. Look, right there, my dimples. They're in the exact same place as hers. Place a picture of me right now and her as a teenager side by side, and the resemblance gets a little scary. I apologize. I had to open the window. It's getting really hot in my car, and it's like December and 80 degrees in LA. It's absurd. So, there's going to be a little bit of noise. I take great pride in being my mother's daughter. So the idea of my perfect college experience, not including a rush in the fall, was upsetting, even though no one was forcing these schools onto me, except for myself. And this gets complicated, because it's no longer about their disappointment, it's about mine. Those around me know me best, and those I love make up who I am. And sometimes they know what I want, or they know what's best for me, before I do. So I take their opinion to heart. And most often, what those around me want for me, I end up wanting for myself. Because there's no denying that they know me best. And oftentimes, they're right. This people-pleasing attitude has been torn apart for years, not just in my life, but online too. But something that I think goes unnoticed within this conversation, and I know is not just unique to me, is when to know... Wait, this sentence is really hard for me. When to know where what you want ends, and what others want for you begin. Because yeah, sometimes you can know exactly what you want and take no criticism, and that's great. But half the battle is figuring out what you want in the first place. After all, we're a mosaic of everyone we've ever loved. And all you ever really want is for those around you to be happy, right? And yet again, I reiterate, those who are truly supportive of you will be proud of you no matter what you do, and whether or not you fulfill that expectation. But the self-pressure is almost worse than the external. The tension between expectation and expression is almost universal. Most of your adolescent life will be spent figuring out who you are and what you want, so I can't answer this question technically right now. This is commonly identified as identity formation, and yet the stakes feel exponentially higher when they're intertwined with love. When I began to look at colleges that didn't include sorority culture, I had to confront this issue head on. Who was I without the expectation? What would I be without any judgment? What remained of me when you removed everyone else? And the answer is, quite frankly, not much. I'm nothing if not a product of everyone who I've ever loved, so this concept was daunting. I realized I wasn't pleasing my mother. I was pleasing the reflection of her within me. Something I found quite useful throughout this process is to ask myself, what would I want if there would be no consequences? I want a school where I can grow, where I can learn new things, meet new people, experience different cultures, and still be challenged while feeling comfortable within my own skin. And yet, this clarity did nothing for my anxiety. The battle between expectation and expression is not linear. Some days, I'm fine with the idea of going to a school with no sorority culture, but the next, this mother-daughter fantasy of matching necklaces and door chants sucks me back into old patterns. It feels like I'm constantly in negotiation with myself, where neither party can win. But by confronting this battle, I learned that expectation and expression aren't necessarily adversarial to each other. It's okay for them to be in tension. They guide you towards a more nuanced, grown version of yourself. This negotiation is ongoing and deeply personal. It entails looking at these expectations and figuring out whether there's something that truly deeply resonates within myself. It requires a lot of patience and self-compassion. So, as I stand here before you, on the threshold, or sit here before you, on the threshold of college applications, I realize that maybe this tension isn't a bad thing. And maybe that's the point. It's the conversation between who you are, who you're expected to be, and who you want to be. And by embracing this dialogue, I'm slowly accepting that not everything is a win-lose game. And yet, I stay reminded of a simple truth. Expression without reflection is reckless, and expectation without authenticity is suffocating. But together, they form that tension that makes growth possible, and really is the growth itself. Guys, I can't lie to you. I'm not coming from a place where I have everything figured out. If that was a requirement for me to post, you would never hear from me again. But I'm talking to you while on my journey, and hopefully you learned something from my spiral. Alright, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next week, Tuesday at 4 p.m. PST. Like, subscribe, comment down below. I love you all.